Welcome to a very enjoyable and very special stream, ladies and gentlemen. This is Fujiwara no So, Touhou Radio Next Gen, introducing you to a very new circle, and I'm very glad to and very proud to be the first one to interview them. Well, please welcome with me Higan Daybreak, and especially today my two guests for that. It's JD and Ren. Thank you so much for joining in today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh man, I mean, like, this is very special to me because it's the very first time that I'm introducing a new circle. It's like one of the things that you want to do as a radio stream is having once the chance to be the very first one to have this kind of opportunity of interviews. I mean, I had the first interviews for other people as well, but this a new circle, first interview, and also for the release of their very first album. Guys, you need to prepare yourself. This will be an awesome night. So yeah, let's get on and let's get started with it. As always, thank you for joining in today. And let's start with just general introduction, I would say. So who of you two want to introduce himself and also the role that he has in the circle?
Oh, I guess I go. I'm JD, or JD of Paradise, and I am one of the, I am an arranger for the circle and the lead member, the guy who started it all. So I guess that's what I'll say for that.
Okay.
And I'm Ren. I'm the other arranger. Not really much more to say on that one, other than it's been a lot of fun this whole process with the album.
Yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride, hey.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, it will certainly be a very interesting one to get through. I mean, like, we have a lot of things to talk about and so on. Oh, by the way, for the people who are listening to the stream right now, what you hear in the background is a little bit of a house arrange of Touhou remixes. It will run for about 1 hour and 45 minutes, so we have a little bit of background music as well right now, just to make it a little bit more spiced up, you know. And yeah, I want to use the opportunity to also introduce myself as a member of Higan Daybreak nowadays, as I will be writing song texts, lyrics, which is kind of a surprise, thinking about how suddenly it was coming to terms, as JD was at some point like, yeah, I would like to have some lyrics for a song. It was actually a range of Lunatic Princes, what you hear right now in the background. But it was a special arrange, I gotta say, and I really love the idea ever since I've been a member of this whole thing, and I really love what I'm doing and what this whole circle is about. So let's start a little bit with the basics. Like, this circle is just about how many months old now?
Well, it depends on what you want to count as the start. If you want to count it as when I said to Ren, hey, how about you make songs as well? That was like what, in March or something?
It was about 4 months ago when Bladed Iris introduced us. Because remember, he messaged. Well, he actually messaged me going, "Hey, I've shared some of your stuff with one of my friends. He'd like to talk to you about like some mixing and mastering." And then we had that Discord chat.
Yeah, but if you don't want to count that as the beginning of the circle, then it would be a year and 2 months ago.
Okay. Well, that seems to be a little bit longer than I expected it to be, because I've been just in for a few months now. I think 2 months or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, do you remember like a year ago when I actually asked you to write lyrics for a Necrophantasia arrangement?
Yeah.
That was really the beginning of Higan Daybreak, from when I said, hey, I want to arrange Touhou music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that song, though, of course, became Boundary of the Skies and doesn't have lyrics, but I'll have to use them at some point.
We will work on it. Maybe we will change the whole thing. I don't know. We will see what will happen with it.
Yeah.
But definitely, it is already quite an interesting project. I mean, like, it was really out of nowhere, and I think for the first album, it is quite amazing. And you guys should listen to it later as well. I will put in the link to the Bandcamp later into the server. You can have a listen to it a little bit later as well, and we are very glad if you can also follow the Twitter, and also I think we have a Discord for that. So
oh yeah, we have a Discord. We can definitely link that later.
I really hope that you can join us.
We don't have an official Twitter yet. I need to get on that, but it's going to be something that's going to exist.
Great. Are you planning also of Facebook presence or not?
The thing with that is, I personally haven't thought about it, and I don't think I want to run a page again. But if someone else in the circle wants to, then we could figure it out.
I mean, I was thinking about asking you about that, but I figured we'd probably wait and see just how things go and go from there.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, certainly. To give it a bit of time to find out what works, what doesn't, certainly is a very important part of this whole thing. Well, talking about this whole idea and project, I mean, like, a lot of first listeners, or rather, how shall I say, the people who will listen to the first album, they will be surprised by the variety of genre we are having in it. I mean, we have acoustic guitars, we have a bit of jazz style, then we have a bit more electro. How would you actually, define your circle? Which kind of music genre?
I guess the best way to describe it would probably be experimental, in the sense that like I asked JD well in advance if he was cool with the styles on the album being eclectic, because that's honestly just that's personally my taste in music, and when I arrange stuff, I just try to shoot for whatever I'm feeling at that given moment, which is why we've got that kind of club trance version of Frozen Capital of Eternity, and then the later stuff's a little more like acoustic guitars, synth flute, warm pads, all that neat kind of just atmospheric stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when you asked that, I was thinking one of my favorite bands just switches between genres all the time, so I don't care. And two, like, I feel as if creatively we should do what we want to do and not worry about, oh, we gotta stick to this certain genre, because that ends up really limiting creativity. So I guess I'd agree with calling it experimental, mostly because I'm just like, hey, let's just do whatever we want and think that we think will be cool or sound nice.
I see. Well, there is a lot of things going on, especially right now with the recent updates and new circles popping up, circles saying goodbye to their fans, and this is a circle that really came out of nowhere, I would say. This is the interesting part of it, I would say, because right now we are here seeing the development and the rise of a new circle, which is already very seriously planning into the future, seeing it realistically to have releases as many as possible, and also with a planned schedule. The question right now is, of course, what are you guys what do you guys willing to ask? Like in our chat and our viewers right now, if you got any questions, please put them into the chat, so we can ask those questions and they will be answered here as well, certainly. There it is already from Dawn. So I'm hearing we'll be seeing a rather wide variety of songs being arranged on top of the varying genres.
Essentially.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Personally, I for the most part try to avoid arranging a song more than once. That's not a rule, because I know JD here did that really awesome arrangement of Lunatic Princess, and it's definitely a song I'd like to try my hand at in the future.
Yeah. It's yeah. I think that's like a general idea, like not arranging the same song like more than once. I think that's like a general idea that we're not really, that neither of us would ever stick hard and fast to. I know for me, like I was talking about how that Necrophantasia arrangement became Boundary of the Skies, but I would love to do another version with the lyrics you wrote, so, and have more of a shoegazy vibe like I envisioned a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and also, so I'm like a one-man chat right now, lol. But if I think of other questions, I'll post them. Certainly, thanks, John. The thing is, of course, with the circles and the new beginning, it's always a little bit difficult to, first of all, establish yourself, getting a great group of followers, and so on. But and the main idea here is, or rather, like what I would like to know is, where do you take your inspirations for which songs you want to cover, which songs you want to work out, and especially in which kind of genre?
What was that again? Sorry, you cut out for me there.
Okay, just about what kind of inspiration is there to pick a certain song, and what kind of inspiration to decide which kind of music genre you want to make a range of, or in which kind of a range, yeah.
Good question. Ren, do you want to go ahead with this one, or?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, the first song that I actually finished for the album was Before the Dawn, which it's an arrangement of Song of the Night Sparrow, right? That inspiration is just, it's that and Deaf to All But the Song are probably like two of my favorite songs in the series, and I've probably listened to it hundreds, if not thousands of times over the years. And I always had that idea in the back of my head where it's just like, this seems like it'd be really neat to do a very mellow arrangement, like just playing off the idea of like it being, where am I going with this? Just with it being very, I guess, dark and subdued with how it sounds, because I mean, I love the original, but the friggin' sun trumpets everywhere.
I said what you mean with that.
I can't help the darker parts of it were influenced, like the darker sounding parts of it were influenced by me mentioning dark ambient the first day we met.
I mean, to be fair, that's when I knew this was going to work. I'm like, hey, he likes shoegaze. He's okay with dark ambient. This is gonna be great.
So let's go a little bit more specifically into a few into the songs, one after another. And but wait a second. Don is also saying, first of all, to JD, you're trash. Love you though, bro. And also another question: any particular plans for where you guys would like the circle to be in the future? Staying small, managing to become well known, etc.
I with the future, I haven't really thought of where we're going to be, more of what I want to do, but I guess I don't mind staying smaller. I don't want to be like too small, but I'd be content with how things would be if like I'm going to a convention and someone sees on my name tag JD of Paradise and goes, "Oh, hey, I like your music," or "Hey, I know you because of some reason related to the circle," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, nice seeing you." I'd like to be well known enough to run into people at conventions, but I don't want to I don't particularly care to get too big. But if we do, Oh, I mean, we do.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset what happens happens.
Yeah.
As far as notoriety goes, if we get popular, we get popular. If we stay relatively small, honestly, I'm okay with that, because either way, because personally, I love the music, I love arranging it, and I love working with you guys. It's fantastic.
I think to go off that, I remember like ages ago, I said something on Twitter along the lines of, I don't care how big the circle gets, as I just want to make music that people will listen to.
Exactly. As long as people enjoy the music, then that's good. That's good enough for me.
I see. Well, and this, or rather, talking about this, and if you think about the songs that you have right now on the first album, I think there are 6 songs right now, right?
Yeah.
Which one was the very first?
I think so. Technically, again, since another song morphed into Boundary of the Skies, that one. But I think I started working on that around the same time. Ren started working on Before the Dawn, so it's one of those two.
I see. Which one of those two you would like to start to talk about first?
That's a good question. It doesn't really matter to me though which one we talk about first.
I would personally say let's start with the intro, so with the very first song of the album, which is Boundary of the Skies. Tell us a little bit about it. Like, when did the idea pop up? What was the background to it? And what can you tell me about it more in detail?
So I think it was back in May of last year when I had really thought about, hey, I want to arrange Touhou music, and Necrophantasia was the song I wanted to arrange because it's my favorite one, and I took some inspiration from Yukari Telegraph by Minimum Electric Design, because I knew how to play that song. I was like, yo, what if I do these 7 chords, and instead of playing out each individual note, I strum it, and then I do that in almost like the rhythm like the beginning to Necrophantasia, and that was the beginning of it. And actually, you probably remember like a year ago me playing that, then you're like, oh, it sounds like Bossa Nova or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, I had said, said to myself, hey, I kind of want to do shoegaze, and I'd love to have a vocalist on this, but I need lyrics. So I remember going to you when you wrote those lyrics and whatnot, and I remember giving you very specific, like, what I wanted to do for that one, because there was, I remember at the time there was someone who I associated with Yukari that I kind of grew apart from, but I didn't really like that, so I wanted kind of lyrics about that, and not, and I gave you that specific guideline because of that, but I wanted it to be universal to everyone. And so that was going on. I was supposed to record with a friend of mine, and if it did, we would have ended up with a shoegaze song a year ago, but things fell through with that, and the whole project was delayed until the beginning of this year, and I had different ideas for how the song was going to go, kept those beginning chords, and I just kind of messed around with ideas until we got Boundary of the Skies.
Okay. And if you think about the song, what is the kind of atmosphere feeling that you want to send out as a message?
Yeah. I never really thought about that, but I guess kind of something chill that you can relax to.
I see.
Not sure how else to put it.
Well, I can say, admittedly, because I've got the project files here on my phone. I was listening to them in my buddy's car stereo yesterday, and let me tell you, it's a good driving song. Very summery, very just chill.
It is very pleasant to listen to, certainly. I mean, like, when you're sitting, as you say, for example, in the car, or actually a little bit later in the night and you're going, like, a little bit out into your garden, stargazing, and then you listen to that song, it's like, oh, freaking hell, I wish I would be right now at the seaside. It is exactly that kind of song, you know? You're like, oh, freaking hell, I love it. This is what I really feel about it, and I really like it, especially with this whole beginning, the whole intro. It has a very nice way to get into it. But let's talk a little bit more in detail, like, what were the challenges with the song when you first thought about it? Let's give it a shot, let's put this one out. What were the challenges with recording it, or maybe finding out the right pattern for the whole arrange, or adding up a few more instruments?
At first, the challenge was being able to record because, again, a year ago I was supposed to record with a friend of mine, but things kind of fell through with that, and since for a while I didn't have a good means to record by myself, I kind of basically put Higan Daybreak at that time on hold until I remembered I had someone else I could talk to, went to him, things didn't end up going through with that, but then I found someone else and then talked to Dan, and the project really got rolling.
Well, 11 Amasama. Oh? Why didn't you ask?
Oh, Llama! Is Llama in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I mean, like, I'm like kind of confused right now. Can somebody help me?
Alright. I think that one... I think that sorted itself out.
Okay. Alright, so, let's talk about the next song then a little bit, and maybe this will also hit out a little bit of a pattern. So, which song would you say as you would like to put into the focus right now as the next song? Maybe a little bit in relation to that first song.
Let's see here. We got. I mean, next up on the album, if memory serves, would be On This Winter Night.
Let's see. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But in terms of the order we were getting stuff finished in, next up was Before the Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything specific that you can tell us about it?
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to talk about Before the Dawn, as mentioned earlier, Song of the Night Sparrow is like one of my all-time favorite songs. Okay. And yeah, it was more so I started working on it right after JD asked if I wanted to join him. And I guess I put A, because it's a group project, and B, because I really wanted to impress. I probably put a little more effort into it than I normally do on stuff. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I'd definitely be lying if I said I wasn't trying to impress there. But the arrangement for the most part was almost came across by accident, because I was listening to stuff on YouTube, and I accidentally set the original song to play at about half speed, and I was listening to the background, and I'm like, that could work. That could just work. So I started messing around with it and started doing like backing chords on some synth strings, and I just got this really nice kind of sorry to reuse this again, but like dark ambient soundscape, and the ball just kept rolling from there. Like, I mean, it definitely took quite a while. I remember at one point I was probably messaging JD like every other day, going, "Hey, here's an update. What do you think?"
And then I would take forever to get back to you, and I felt like really bad about it.
I mean, I just appreciate the fact I was getting feedback from it, but yeah, no, it's there's a couple inspirations on it. Like one the thing about accidentally setting the song to half speed on YouTube. At about a minute or so in, there's a guitar playing the lead. It's a hollow body guitar with a little bit of chorus and reverb on it, just to get an almost bluesy sound on it. That was actually inspired. I'd been listening a lot to maybe you've heard of this guitarist, Tommy Emmanuel, this like virtuoso guitarist from Australia.
Certainly rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, I'd gone to a concert of his, again with Bladed Iris about a year ago. Bought an album while I was there, and it's since I did it's more or less been in my CD player permanently. So.
Okay.
It definitely heavily inspired by a lot of the stuff I was listening to on that album.
Well,
and sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. As for the second half of the song, when the there's that break, and then there's the key change, and then it comes in with the piano. That one. I had this image in mind that the first half of the song, before the break, it's like the night, and then the part of it with the piano and guitar where there's a little less going on, but it sounds a little bit warmer at the same time. That was going to be like the sunrise, or no pun intended, the daybreak, if you will. And
see.
Yeah, the end result was 5 minutes of what I'd probably consider to be my best work.
Okay.
You know, I find it's kind of beautiful in a way that you were saying that you were trying to impress with that one, and I think that's my favorite song on the album.
Well, then, mission accomplished.
Well, I mean, like, I'm so proud to be part of this whole thing, and at the same time also, as well, as I said, to be the very first one to interview you guys. And for the people who might have joined right now, from just now, welcome to Touhou Radio Next Gen. This is our first interview with Higan Daybreak, a very new circle that is definitely worth to give it a listen. They will release their latest album this afternoon, I think, or tomorrow. Tomorrow on the radio Taisai. So keep your eyes peeled for it. It is definitely worth it, and you really need to check it out. Like, the songs are amazing, the songs arranged are great, and I'm pretty sure that you guys will enjoy it as crazy. Getting into the material more in a specific content. If you think of the songs that you wrote so far, in which, or rather, like, which kind of feeling came up when you listened the very first time to your finished product, to your finished song, and knowing that it will be on the album? What kind of feeling came up? Like, was it like this whole thing, like, holy shit, I did it? Or was it a little bit of sadness, like, damn it, it is finished, but I got the feeling I could make it so much better, but it isn't possible anymore? What kind of feeling is there coming up inside of you?
I think honestly a little bit of both. It's like, wow, this sounds really good. It's definitely come a long way from where it started, but at the same time, like, oh no, people are going to hate this. I need to tweak this. I need to tweak that. Like, you know, you're never truly satisfied with it, and at the same time, I think that's an important thing to have, is just that drive to just keep improving.
I think with me, I'm very similar, because on one hand, I'm excited that it's done and this album's going to be out. On the other hand, I tend to be hypercritical of, like, everything I do, and I sit here, like, here's a good example. I remember when I was working on that Lunatic Princess arrangement, I was like, oh, this is great. This is going to be a banger. And now I listen to it and I'm like, oh, it's not quite as good as I thought it was. Hopefully people like it.
But JD,
Yeah.
It is a banger. I can confirm.
I mean, I would be biased to say my own opinion to it because I wrote the lyrics, so I will shut the fuck up. But I certainly like it as well. The whole thing about it is, of course, how you make it something special and unique. Don is asking, songs you two might be looking forward to arranging in the future. That's actually a good one.
Well, if I can start with a little bit of potential spoilers, I've shared that it's literally just an intro that demo with you guys, but I'm thinking about an a cappella arrangement of Native Faith, for example.
And I think I told you already that I'm definitely into work on that a cappella.
Excellent.
Because, yeah, I'm bringing in a little bit of chorus knowledge, or rather experience, so got this feeling of I could try to make a few takes and you could give it a listen. Would be interesting.
Yeah, ideally, in a perfect world, I'd love to have everybody in the circle try to contribute some vocals to it. It'd probably be a nightmare to mix and master everything, but it's definitely something I'd look forward to doing.
We just need to settle down on a key, then we all know it. But I think with your intro already, then we have already like the base on which we will work. Yeah,
because it's like the intro. It's still in the original key signature, and it's right in roughly the middle octave. So it's at that point where, for the most part, everyone should have little to no trouble reaching.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not good at singing, but I'll try. For me, for songs I'm looking forward to arranging, I guess again we got a little spoiler here, but that the ideas I've been kind of throwing out for that arrangement of The Flowers Remain in Fantasy, I'm excited to start working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I've when I first thought of the idea in this group, I had linked a song Tereto by Sotaise Riron, and like I was like, oh, this is good. I want to arrange something like this, and for whatever reason, The Flowers Remain in Fantasy just popped in my head, and I'm like, what if I do that in the relative key and make it major? And now I'm just going through all these ideas, and I just really want to get working on it.
Can understand you on that perspective, or rather on this point. Let's talk about the third song on this album, which is Until We Meet Again.
Okay, so I especially after hearing Boundary of the Skies, I was thinking, like, I should try my hand at remixing something from Perfect Cherry Blossom, and I was listening to the soundtrack, and I'm like, okay, good stuff here, good stuff there, and then I listened to Sakura, and I know something just kind of clicked with me, and I've since taken it down. I might put it back up on my SoundCloud, but there was a demo where I did some weird, I guess, techno-y kind of thing, where it started with square waves, had like weird oscillating synth arpeggios, and it just I kind of like it, but I'm definitely glad I made the decision to switch to strings and taking a more subdued approach with it. It's actually, say for the end, it's actually at the same. It's actually at the same tempo as the original. I just the drum, I just did like a simple hip hop beat with a TR-808 kit, but I did the drum beat at halftime, and it just gives the impression that the song is slower than what it actually is.
I see.
when I switched to the strings, I just had images of like honestly just spring and autumn simultaneously.
Okay.
Falling leaves specifically. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but like that's just like the image I had going through my head when I was working on it. The little bit towards the end there where there's an acoustic guitar playing playing a little part with like a synth in the background.
Hmm.
Originally I was just gonna do more or less a straightforward cover, and then I decided that like no, I should do at least a little bit of throwing my own arrangement into that. So I generally didn't want to do just straight up covers.
This is a hard question because I didn't really have any specific genres in mind in either song I worked on, but in general, I guess the first song that I did, Boundary of the Skies, was more jazzy, kind of like minimum electric design, and that's good, but the Summer Dreaming, I think, with what the guitars were doing, it's more like post-rock, maybe a little alt-rock inspired, even though, again, I'm not even sure if I can call it that. But because of that, I had more fun putting that together because, like, in every part of it, I brought in a new idea, and it was kind of fun to do that. It was like the song just kept building and building on itself.
And that's...
Yeah.
That's actually good segue. I think while I do like the other stuff I did, I did have a lot of fun working on this Winter Night, because I mean it's a like club trance track and inspired by like the late 90s, early 2000s stuff that I listened to a lot of, and it literally just starts with that 4 on the floor kick drum before adding in like the clap, the clap from the drum machine, the hi-hat, that drum loop with that other drum loop before adding in the bass, and just building on itself. And it was fun, challenging, but that was part of the fun, because while you're constantly building on a loop, you don't want it to be repetitive, but at the same time, you've got that idea of like, okay, so I've got all this going on, but where do I go from here? Exactly. It's like, okay, I've got a good drum track. I've got a bass line. I've got a rough idea for the melody, but all the little like flourishes and stuff in the background that just really brings that song up a notch. Like, where do you go with that? And that's the other fun one with that, is because unlike the other songs where I had a rough idea at the start, I literally just started with I actually built that track in order. Like I started at the very beginning and literally just went progressively, like 5 seconds and 10 seconds in. Like I didn't jump ahead and do any other parts. What you hear is literally the order I came up with everything. And originally I wasn't sure what song I was going to do, and then I ended up listening to Frozen Capital of Eternity, and I heard the intro, like the little intro bells and all that, and I'm like, that would be perfect. And so from there, I'm just like, okay, guess I'm doing a Frozen Capital of Eternity arrangement, which also worked because it's the only song on the album I did that was like from a game later than Imperishable Night, come to think of it. Let's see here. JD, you want to start?
I guess this is a tough question actually, because I hadn't really thought of this, but I guess the one that's kind of reflects where I'm at is somewhat would it be ironic? I don't know. Is the first one, because it's got that chill feeling, but like it kind of with the title and it too, it kind of makes at least me think of just kind of being free and just flying through the sky. That's why I ended up going with that title. And I think that's where I am in kind of life, just kind of happy and free and just marching towards, well, I guess flying towards where I want to be. Yeah.
I think for me, it's honestly probably Until We Meet Again, just because of stuff in my life right now. I'm kind of in a transitory thing. Like, I'm probably going to be moving soon, going back to college and all that, and it's just I'm saying goodbye to quite a few people, but not for good, just like literally until we meet again. Exactly. Yeah, it's like there's a little more distance, but I'm still there. It's just a little bit more difficult. Yeah, well, I mean, admittedly, I've never moved before. I'm still living in the same house from like day one.
I'm there too, though I might be moving next year.
Irony of ironies.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it cruel in my situation. It's literally just like I'm like
It's just where life took you.
Exactly. I'm like 24, going to college. It's time to move out of my parents' house. Like, let's be real here. Yeah, well, it is like I'm going to school in the city I'm at the same time. It's I live on the outskirts of town, so it is huge hassle to get in and out, especially because our local transit system is absolute crap.
Yeah, I could totally understand that. That's part of why I might be moving next year, because if I get into the school I want to, it's just the biggest pain in the ass to get there, so it's just more convenient to live there.
Mm-hmm. I look at it this way. The one caveat based on where I live is because I live on like Vancouver Island and stuff. I would never want to move to Vancouver proper though. That place is a nightmare. Just from an everything standpoint.
Apparently Llama's saying they can't hear you. Oh, so. Saying that apparently Llama's saying they can't hear you, so. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Okay, let's go first. We're improvising with this one then. Okay. But sorry for the drop of quality. Unfortunately, I've got a laptop that is literally disintegrating itself. It committed or decided to go all the way into Valhalla without me, or without informing me. That stupid piece of okay, you know what I want to say. This,
yeah. Give it a Viking funeral.
Oh, I won't give it a Viking. I will give it a drop the bomb style funeral. Drops me.
I mean that works too. Go with that.
Okay.
Well,
saying it works now. Good.
Great. So let's get to the next song, which is actually quite the interesting one for me, for example, because I've been working on it. And that is, of course, the Summer Days Dreaming. What is it?
Lunatic Princess.
Lunatic Princess Arranged. Yeah, there we go. Thanks. And let's talk about this one, JD. Like, when did you come up with the idea for this?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know why I did, but I just remember I originally had 4 songs I wanted to arrange, but 2 of them I just couldn't because of time constraints. But this one this was just one of the songs I picked out to arrange, and I think part of the reason probably was because I already knew how to play it. But everything else about the song, besides just me picking it, I'm not even sure how to explain it. Just kind of happened, really. Like, yeah, it just kind of happened. Like, I was playing one part, and I'm like, oh, this sounds nice. What about this idea? And then, like, as I got into the studio, I just kind of started bouncing ideas. Did one thing, thought, oh, what if I do the next? And much like how the song progresses, I just kept building on the ideas I had already come up with, and then. We could probably talk more about this, but I remember at that point we already had Nazuhato as a vocalist, but like no song for her to sing on. And I forget like how it happened, because I remember messaging you about lyrics like ages ago, and then you said, "Oh, I'm busy, but if I'm not, or it's like, oh, good luck with this. Maybe when you're done, I could do stuff with them too." And I'm like, okay, I'm doing instrumentals. But I think when that happened, we didn't have Nazuhato as the vocalist. But then I said to her, hey, you want to be the vocalist? And she said, sure. And then I think like sometime after that, I think you messaged me, and then I forget exactly how it happened, but it ended up with you being the lyricist. And well, then you could talk more about the lyrics, since you wrote them. You could talk more about it than I ever could.
Oh gosh, I should talk. Nah, come on. Okay. just in general, this whole thing was actually like more of this whole. I was listening to JD's song and it was like, damn, this one is good. I would like to write something that is really suiting and proper for it, and good enough so it deserves to be the lyrics of something like this. And it took me a while to arrange and to come up with something good, but once I got the idea for it, it just went with it. Like, it was really like easy going from there. Like, I had the idea, I was giving it a shot, I was trying to give it, making it the best that I had, and with the time, it just happened. You know, like, I was talking, like, first of all with Nazuhato about what kind of lyrics does she want to have, and what kind of topic she would like to sing about, and about what she doesn't want to sing. I was very picky with that one, first of all, and I wanted to give it the right atmosphere, as the song itself has this whole and very enjoyable seaside feeling, and I wanted to keep that one up. And once I got the main frame, I was like, yeah, JD, here, I wrote something. I'm really not sure if you'll like that, but let's give it a shot. And yeah, fortunately, JD surprisingly accepted this one. I really don't know why. And it ended up to be, yeah, the song, or the lyrics for the song. And this is basically the story of it, I would say. Or did I miss something?
That's basically the story. I want to say that whole song, just it brings to mind this image of like a traditional like Japanese house by the seaside, and it's like some people playing out in the beach on like a starry night.
Oh, would you say it this way? I actually was rather thinking about like the seaside at Rio de Janeiro or something like that. And then, you know, like this typical, the whole sea is completely orange, and you see from the beach side, and then you see this figure of a young and slender woman walking by, extremely, how can I say, attractive, sexy, and then this whole atmosphere is springing up, and she is coming closer to you, see her face, and she is like, yeah, really luring you. She wants to be loved, wants to be felt like in a special position, and this whole idea, and then this desperate fire of love inside of it, which is going on into the song, and going on how wild she's going crazy with her emotion and her feelings and her pheromones, or you know what I want to say. And this whole thing cools down then to the end. It was like this kind of feeling when she wakes up, everything was a dream. This was the kind of feeling I had with it. But interesting that you had this other perspective on it.
I think it says something about us where that was your intention, and I just think of essentially the beach episode of an anime.
Well, it wasn't that far off, to say it, honestly. So
yeah.
I mean, like, I love this kind of theme and topic, so I would like to work on other lyrics close to or related to this kind of things most frequently. And yeah, this is what I can say about this song. Later on, you decided to add in more like piano and so on. When did this idea come from? Where did this idea come from?
I didn't really add any piano. It's mostly the guitar parts.
Oh yeah, I mean, not only that. I mean the drum.
Oh, the drum. Like the rest of the song, it just kind of happened. Like, it's just the ideas I had, and it just felt right.
I just need to say it. Like, every time you say "it just happened," it sounds a little bit like a father trying to explain his own daughter, like, "Oh, how was I made? Oh, how was I?" It kind of just happened.
I mean, you take the Bob Ross approach. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents.
Exactly. There were several times where I just played something wrong when practicing the song, and it sounded better, and I said exactly that.
Dad, how was I born? It was a kind of a coincidence, you know.
Just kind of happened, you know.
And when I was
One-
done
one-
with it, you know, like your mom wasn't really happy, but she was like, it's too late to do anything about it, and so here we are.
woke up one day with 2 kids, a minivan, and a mortgage, thinking, how the hell did this happen?
It just kind of happened.
Sometimes it just be like that.
It really do be like that sometimes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Higan Daybreak, the most chaotic and at the same time sarcastic circle you've ever seen.
Thank you. We'll be here all week.
Yeah.
Tip your waitress.
So here's a question, like, why Daybreak?
So I had been thinking of a title for this for a long time, and at first I had decided that I didn't want to go with a self-titled album, but I just couldn't really think of anything, and I had the idea of Daybreak EP, but I didn't really like the sound of that. But then I thought of, wait, what if I get rid of the EP and just Daybreak? And then that's when it... sorry, no pun intended here, but that's when it dawned on me.
Oh god.
that was not intended.
It's still appreciated.
So yeah, it dawned on me that much like the sun rising up at daybreak signifies the beginning of the day, this album signifies the beginning for the circle. So it just made sense that it would be called Daybreak.
I see. I mean, now that you're telling us about this, there is of course the other part of it, like, why was it the Higan Daybreak? Like, why did you take out of all the options Higan instead of anything more, how can I say, delighted?
Well, I think that's partially to do with my growing fascination with Aki at the time, but what happened with that was I just wanted something that sounded nice, didn't really mean anything, and for whatever reason I wanted Higan in the title, and I went through a lot of ideas, like one of them was Higan Society, which doesn't... I guess that would have worked, but I don't like it as much though.
Sounds a little more cultish.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I don't like it as much. I had like that as an idea. So I forget what the other one. Oh, Higan Ensemble was another idea, but I was like, it doesn't really sound like what I want to go for. And then I just kind of thought of Daybreak, and I'm like, that sounds nice, doesn't mean anything, and as Higan in the name, that's what what my circle's gonna be called.
And so it was Higan Daybreak. And thinking of this whole thing, like Aki and so on, why did you actually decide that you wanted on the first cover picture also Patchouli? Like, what kind of reason was behind that one?
Well,
you go on.
Okay, well, JD pitched ideas to me about the cover and what we were thinking of doing, like how he wanted to go about this, and one of the ones was that he and I each pick a character. And obviously we know who his pick was, but
yeah.
I went with Patchouli mainly just because when I first, admittedly, my introduction to Touhou as a like the Touhou, like as a series and stuff, was my best friend in high school invited me over to his place one day, and we played Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. And I just remember, bottom line is, I just really remember loving the song The Magic Library, and just going from there.
I see.
It's literally just because it was my introduction to the series, and probably just fond memories.
Okay.
Nothing super profound, I'm sorry, but
No, it's alright. I mean, like, it is a simple question, and I mean, like, if there is a simple answer, it is also very welcome. It's pretty similar to the whole thing why it was Moko for me, because, yeah, family relations. Let's leave it by that, with that. But yeah, talking about the fifth song, or rather like, we actually talked about it partially already, like about Before the Dawn. But let's go.
Yeah, we
get a little bit more in depth with it. I would suggest.
Okay, well, like I said, as stated earlier, it's the first one I actually finished for the album, and I guess it was my quote unquote try hard song because I was really trying to impress JD, and I guess Bladed Iris, who I've referred to a couple of times, for lack of a better term, as our circle's janitor.
I remember at one point we were barely talking in here, and just Bladed Iris was like, "No, I'm the janitor because I clean up after your two shitty personalities."
I mean, in my case, he's not wrong, but like, nah.
No, in my case, he's not wrong. You're fine.
You're fine. Okay, all right. Let's just agree to disagree on this one. Otherwise, we'll be here for like the rest of this.
I wasn't gonna continue anyways.
Oh, brother.
Anyways, long story short, I was just trying to impress. Just ended up listening, like I said, listening to the original song at half speed. Found out it worked, or in my opinion it worked, and then went from there. I think all told, it came together bit to bit. Like I wasn't working on it every day because I work like near full-time hours. Sometimes you just gotta have. Sometimes you just gotta have some time to do stuff. But let me see if I can bring up the old Discord chat. So it came together over a period of about two and a half months. Sometimes updates were literally just like 10 or 15 seconds at a time. Because I never really had a completely cohesive idea, honestly, and just before I finished it, because I figured where I wanted to go, and that's how we ended up with the second half of the song. And that whole like last minute and a half, 2 minutes came together in one sitting.
I see.
Like I just sat down one night, a few hours later, there we go. And listening back on it, I'm like, I don't hate it, which is more than I can say when I normally sit back and re-listen to whatever I've worked on.
I see.
Yeah, it's I'm not really sure what else to mention on it, because it's all stuff we mentioned before. I guess the only other thing I can mention is like all the stuff I did on the album. At some point or another went through. Admittedly, I still use FL Studio 10. So there's a few of the image line plugins used, like the warm pads. Some of them were from the Poison plugin, which does really good atmospheric stuff. Side note, I'm not chilling them. I'm not saying go buy this stuff. It's just I've found it works for me.
It is certainly like a difficult thing to find, first of all, the program with which you are most familiar with or feeling the most comfortable with to work, right? And
well, I started with FL Studio 8 back in like 2000. It would have been like 2009, 2010.
I see.
So I've got about 8 years of experience with FL Studio proper, because I mean the main difference between like 8 and 10. It's just a few minor UI changes, and I know they're at like 12 or it's like 12 or 13 now. I'm pretty sure it's 12, but I haven't upgraded because I'm just too stubborn. And I'm like, no, I'm comfortable with 10. 10 does what I need.
And nowadays, it's already working for you for these projects. It's amazing how quickly things can work out.
Maybe one day I'll update, but like, why mess with a good thing, right?
Yeah, if it works, it works.
Exactly. Most certainly it is like that. It is always a little bit of a difficult task to first of all get into a program, especially with this kind of topic and this kind of specialty, you know? I would say. Or how would you reflect on it?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, because I have many a fond memory of like 14-year-old me staring at the computer screen going, what does this do? What does that do? What the hell is an LFO?
And when you were...
What are these envelopes? How do I make sound?
What is this? What is that? I don't know. I don't understand. And the next moment you're like, where's my whole project?
Yeah. It's actually, unfortunately, the earliest stuff I did was on my family computer back in the day, and years of my family being absolutely horrible with technology, present company excluded, of course, but years of my family being horrible with technology led to the hard drive getting absolutely wiped, and I've lost literally everything I've done prior to like halfway through 2014, because
oh my god.
Yeah, as much as my dad claimed to be a computer expert, he never considered the wisdom of backing up, you know, all our photos, music, etc., etc.
He likes to play the hardcore mode.
He definitely liked to play hard mode. play lunatic mode.
The thing is, hardcore mode in these kind of, let's say, games usually tend to end in a nightmare.
Maybe a busted controller. Kind of looks over at my busted 360 controller for Windows.
Oh yeah. Same thing here, mine is quite fucked. Before anyone asks if I could say that, yes I can. It's my stream.
I mean, he's right, he can do what he wants.
Certainly. But yeah, let's get back to the album itself. So the final song in this album is actually also quite special, Eternal Sunset.
Yeah, Ethereal Sunset.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Like, first of all, the title is, of course, very interesting. Like, why Eternal Sunset?
Okay, well, actually, the entire thing came together over the span of about 3 days.
Oh.
So, originally, as JD mentioned earlier, we were going to do about 4 songs each. Time constraints led to there being 2, but I look at it this way: more stuff for a later album. I really look forward to hearing it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was one of those things. I took my laptop and everything with me when my family received word that my grandfather was in ill health. So we went from Victoria, BC, where I live, to this town called Kamloops up in the interior, a distance of a couple hundred miles. But the interior BC has a little bit of everything. It's got like these really nice green forests. Kamloops, however, it's in this weird little belt where there was forest, but most of it burnt down in some fires a few years back.
Mm.
But it's also the desert, this desert area, just with a river running, the Fraser River running through the middle of it. So you have this really nice kind of green space right where the riverbed is.
Mm.
And then as soon as you get away from that, it's just like desert and burned out forest as far as the eyes can see.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there in our hotel room one night, looking out the window, and between I guess there was a little fire off in the distance, and between the smoke and everything, the sun, like the sunset was just tinted red. So you get you get like this like red sky, smoke in the air, this just interesting juxtaposition of the river and the desert immediately surrounding it. And that's kind of what led to the title. The fact that the song just happens to be from Mystic Square was I'm not gonna lie, the title had almost nothing to do, or had nothing to do with the song I chose, but did have a lot to do with the arrangement, because I was messing around with an arrangement of Mystic Formation, Mystic Square. And again, I kind of revisited the same instrument choices I used before the dawn. Ironically enough, for an album titled Daybreak, 3 of my songs reference nighttime. Sorry, JD.
Though I do find it fitting that an album called Daybreak ends with a sunset.
That was the reason why I suggested it, or why I was cool with it when you suggested we end on that. But the instrument choice definitely helps. So again, you've got the acoustic guitars, you've got the strings, and you have this weird synth flute backing the guitar at certain points. But that's literally just because that's what was going through my head when I was staring out the window, looking at that just like surreal landscape.
If you think right now about the song and about the whole atmosphere that you're trying to put in, would you say there is kind of a dedication to someone with it?
You know what? I didn't really think about it at the time, but quite possibly. Because I was at the time I was working on it. Like I said, I was up in Kamloops because my grandfather was in failing health, and we essentially were there to see him before he passed away. So I guess if there was any dedication, it would be to him, just because like he was in my thoughts the entire time.
And I would say he would be freaking proud and happy about it.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's one of the most amazing parts that I know about this whole thing. I mean, like, I listened to the album once straight through, and when the ending came, it was like, it is so satisfying. At the same time, it leaves you with this empty hole of, I want to hear more. It isn't really that good, and it really is kind of, like pushing this interest and this hunger for more from the circle. And I really think it ended on a very good note there. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would agree on me, agree and say, yeah, certainly I would like to hear more from the circle. I want to know, where does this journey go to, and so on. So we definitely need to work on the second album at some point again. But yeah.
Well, like I said, there's definitely ideas in the works.
Yeah.
Which is always good to know. Especially JD, this time I really need to have a bit more pre-run before I need to write lyrics. Otherwise, a nightmare like the last one will happen.
Nightmare, he says.
Nightmare, yeah, but everything worked out fine easily.
You know, the greatest critic is always yourself.
Yeah.
Yep, no arguments here.
I was like, damn, I could have done it way better. But then again, I was like, how? I was like, I need to rewrite the whole thing, and then the atmosphere. Can you do that? Nope. There you got it.
I just remembered this little fact. I think goes with being your own biggest critic is I forget if it was Robert Plant or Jimmy Page, but one of the two of them just absolutely hates Stairway to Heaven.
I think that was actually Jimmy Page.
I could believe that, yeah. I know it's one of the two of them.
Irony of irony, sorry, getting a little off topic here. The first time they played Stairway to Heaven live, the audience actually booed them because they wanted to hear a whole lot of love instead. It's never appreciated in its time.
I mean, like, I don't quite get it why you should be so upset about it, because in a live, because, for example, just a few days ago I was on a live concert of Ed Sheeran, that British guy, or rather, I don't know, I think he was British, quite amazing. And the live stage, 85,000 people gathering and listen to his music, was really a big, kind of a festival, you could say. And
Oh yeah.
it was really a great festival. And then when each song was celebrated, and even the songs I didn't know, I could fall in love with and listen to it, and it was amazing. And this is something, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say we actually just had a music festival not too far from where I live last weekend. It was a little smaller scale, still like I think between 7,000 and 10,000 people. But though I didn't go personally. I live a couple miles away, and you could hear the crowds, you could hear the noise. Hell, late you didn't see the you could even see the light show from the stage, and it's just like even by proxy, you just get a good vibe for that atmosphere.
Must be really nice. Of course, it is a bit different than really being there live, but it is really something, huh? Yeah, but what I would wish that would happen at some point is, of course, that our circle will be like this kind of how can I say, event or effect that we can that people will recognize us for our doing, and having the that they will give you the respect and also the tribute that you deserve for all the awesome work that you guys were doing the last few months. I mean, like, I came in very late for this album, and I was like literally only a few weeks or something like that in when I started working, or rather, like, I was working first and then I was added in, and I was, from the first moment on, I was so impressed by the dedication you all had, the passion for it, you know, like this whole feeling of being part of something bigger, something new. And this was really like the feeling and the how can I say, that was the inspiration that gave me this feeling of I really need to do something good and great, and I want to give you the best I can at this moment. And that's maybe the reason why I criticize the lyrics still so much, because I feel like it could have been so much more.
I mean, that's fair, and again, that seems to be the general consensus here. Is as soon as everybody joined in, there was just that desire to impress. Like in your case with the lyrics, in my case with Before the Dawn, where it's just like, all right, everybody I've talked to is hyped about this. I'm hyped. Let's do something great.
Yeah.
It is definitely something like this, isn't it? It's like this feeling of let's do it, let's do something great, something special and unique, and everybody shall be part of it. Like, this feeling of it is really... And hello there, Saga Rebellion. Don't know who you are right now, but maybe I will find out later.
I believe they're in the Discord.
Ah, I see. Very likely.
Yeah, at the same time, this whole thing I've been been really excited for, especially with the album releasing tomorrow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've been really nervous because this is the first time I really participate in anything that's has the potential to reach such a wide audience. Because I mean I've arranged music for literally years, but I share it with close friends and family at best. And truth be told, I didn't even realize that Bladed Iris had shared some of my stuff with JD to begin with, because normally my friends would ask me if they could share it with people, and I'd be like self-conscious and say no. But he took matters into his own hands, shared some stuff with JD, and that led to us talking. So
Yeah.
good on him, I guess.
I'm sure he knew all along, which is why he didn't ask you.
I mean, yeah. At the same time, Bladed Iris is kind of known for playing 4D chess with everyone.
Yeah, that is him to a T.
Come to think of it, if you guys could send right now a greeting or paying respect to somebody, who would it be right now? Who would you like to give this kind of a thank you for being here, or special, a special shout out?
I think we have the same person in mind.
Yeah, so I guess first and foremost, shout outs to Bladed Iris for introducing JD and I, and I mean, without that, would we really be here? I guess at the same time, if I had to give some other shoutouts, A, to my family for not hating me for prattling on about the music of Touhou for the past 4 months, and my straight up my best friend for actually introducing me to Touhou all the way back in the far off time of 2011.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, no, it was literally he had just moved into town. We shared a computer class. We started hanging out, and he's like, "So, have you ever heard of Touhou?" And I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "Okay, so next time you hang out, we're gonna load up this game. We're gonna play it, and you're gonna tell me what you think." And as mentioned earlier, said game was embodiment of Scarlet Devil. And yeah. It was at that point where I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm in.
For me with shoutouts, of course, Bladed Iris for bringing Ren and I together, and well, basically as Ren had said, Higan Daybreak would be very different if it wasn't for that. So, who else could I give a shout out to? Well, of course, Hikaru, because he's been a good friend for a while, and he did the logo for us. And my buddy Lax, because even though at the time he wasn't successful, he tried to help me get into Touhou. And, well, I think my life also in general would have been a lot different without him, so...
So these are the people you're dedicating this whole thing a little bit, huh? It's kind of a tribute to them as well, as a thanks to it. To them being there. Totally understandable, and it's very lovely to think about it, that you are also thinking about them so deeply. I mean, like, there's always this kind of a person from the outside, which is so important to this whole thing to work out, and then when you think about them, it is always like, oh my gosh, yeah, that guy, oh my, you really need to think about it, like, imagine this, and so many stories have been told about it then. And really glad that you are also this kind of people who are really paying so much tribute to your lads and people who are around. I mean, like, I'm not different to that, like, freaking hell. I mean, like, I'm so happy and fortunate that I got to know JD, and also that he was actually having the faith in me to ask me if I want to write some lyrics. Like, at that moment I was like, holy shit, I don't want to disappoint him. And so I really think, like, working on this whole project was making me realize how much this whole thing, Touhou and writing lyrics, actually meant to me. And it sounds so cliche, but it really is this kind of passion going into you and saying like, damn, this is really the thing that you love to do. And so thank you so much for making myself realizing it again. To fall in love again with Touhou, falling in love with writing lyrics and working with this kind of things. This is what I can say.
And I too can second that. Say one substitution. Instead of writing lyrics, put arranging music, because before I met JD, I with the exception of some arrangements of other stuff I had remixed for my personal copy of all things Project M on the Wii, I kind of stagnated musically, and I can't help but feel that's also one of the reasons why Bladed Iris gave that little extra push to talking to JD. And just like our first meeting was literally just a Discord conversation with screen sharing where I'm like, okay, here's FL Studio, this is what I do.
Yeah, you're basically showing me everything about FL Studio.
Yeah, and then like 2 or 3 days later, I get a message from JD going like, hey, want to be a part of this? To which my response was something along the lines of, okay.
When JD came first up with the idea of a circle, that was, as I said, quite a long time ago, and at that time I didn't take it that serious. I was like, JD is planning something that is way too big for him, this won't ever happen. And then a few months later, and now I'm looking at it and say, holy shit, you really made it happen. And it's like, there's so much respect for you that you really went through it. You never gave up on it, you just stick to it and told yourself, I want to do it, I will do it, and you're gonna follow with it. And later, if it will be a success, you're gonna lick my boots. I've got kind of this feeling, you know, in the end. And I would say right now, you really well deserve this whole. And I mean, this is really an achievement that you guys really earned so hard with your own flesh and blood, working so hard for it for so long. And so I really, how can I say, I mean, like, I really think that you deserve every single bit of it, and I'm really glad to be able to share with you this whole experience, this whole journey, you know?
Yeah, well, we're really glad to have you on board too, so...
I am very happy to have you on board.
I'm gonna do my freaking best not to disappoint you guys.
It is neat to think about when you consider, like, even like a year and a bit ago, like JD was saying, this was an idea, and now here we are, like, not even 24 hours out from releasing an album. It's kind of mind-boggling when you think about it.
Kind of tear-dropping, isn't it? It's like quite a tear-dropper, because it is kind of this whole thing coming finally to a very first step forward. Like, this is just the beginning, and then suddenly you realize, like, holy fuck, how far we came.
And like, because you never think about it while you're working on it, because you're just thinking, like, how can I make this song better? What's the deadline? Where are we going from here?
Yeah.
And, you know, now that we've had a couple of days where you know we've got more or less everything finalized, you have a chance to take a step back, listen, and be like, wow, we did this. To quote, I guess, Miller from MGS5, it was ours, damn it, we built this place.
Yeah. Like, it is really like this. It's just a little bit like, to refer to something else, like the ceiling can told us right now, it's like, now we're starting, here is our starting point, and it can only go upwards from here. It can only go forward, never back. It is really this kind of feeling that I've got when I'm talking with you about it. It's really something amazing happening. So I'm so glad to be part of it. But yeah, ideas and thoughts that I've got with it, huh? But yeah, let's talk a little bit in the direction of future. Like, the album right now, as I said, we have so much teasing right now going on for it, and in a few hours, merely a few hours, we will be publishing it the first time. And holy cow. But, what is the future, or what is the future plan of Higan Daybreak for the longer term right now?
Well, we've already been throwing around ideas for the next album, so there's that. But beyond that, I have ideas, and I'm not going to say them right here because I'd rather talk to you guys and the server about that. But for now, we've got that second album that we're gonna start working on.
And I believe the idea for that was to try and have it ready by the end of the year for Winter Comiket, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're shooting for Winter Comiket.
So fingers crossed, if all goes well, two releases in our first year.
If it really works out, it would be amazing, of course.
Yeah, I think the fun one though is assuming we started work on it today, that would actually give us more time to work on it than the first album here.
It really sounds a little bit like the racing engineer from Audi Sport talking about Le Mans. Like, when are you gonna start to prepare for next year? Tomorrow.
Yeah, literally, we only have two speeds, just fast and too fast.
It's probably not helped by the fact that I'm like constantly thinking ahead. Like, since the beginning of this month, I've been thinking about the next album.
I mean, to be fair, as soon as I finished up work on Ethereal Sunset, I'm like, okay, do I immediately start work on something while I have ideas, or do I give myself like just a week where I don't work on music and take a break? The correct answer was I didn't start work on anything for the next album, but I've done one or two joke things that, again, maybe submitted to our Discord server for our fine fans to listen to and have a cheap laugh at.
Hey, look who's joining us, Ekishiki.
Oh, hey, Nasato.
Well, also a member of our amazing circle.
Yeah.
And yeah, and also, like, JD, you were talking about it, like, not after the second album, what other plans are there? Like, is there something happening, like we gonna continue with
well, the thing is, again, I would have liked talking about it off the stream, but there's no concrete things that we're gonna do. It's just ideas I've had. But I was thinking of potentially getting a bunch of other people who arrange Touhou music and trying to put together a collab album. The idea for this mostly is because I want to release something next year, but I'm not sure how much time I'm gonna have, because next year I'm starting at a new college. By this time next year, I will be in Japan on vacation, and then in the fall I might be in Japan studying abroad. So I'm not gonna have a lot of time next year. While I would love to put out a full album with be doing more than one song, I'm not sure if I can do more than one song. And there's no, if I'm gone for like not home for like half the year and not working on anything, there's no really good time to release anything.
Well,
Certainly.
That actually gave me an idea here. Is if you do somehow find the time to even do like one, maybe two songs, I'm pretty sure I could do one or two, and it doesn't have to be a full album. Like, even if we get an EP out, just because the bottom line is you want to have a release next year.
Yeah. Well, I had two ideas in my mind. One is what you just said, and we do an EP for like Great Taisai, and the other was that collab album idea.
I personally really like the collab album idea as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this circle just goes to show good, good things happen when we work in groups.
Yeah. You put together a team because the end product is better than what the individuals could do by themselves.
Exactly. The sum, or the sum is greater than the whole of its parts.
Exactly.
It definitely is an important part of it. You're not talking rubbish about that one. But yeah, like if you gonna have to, if somebody is coming towards you saying like, so what can I expect from your first album? What can I expect to experience when I listen to it? You have exactly 2 sentences to answer that one. Which 2 sentences would you reply?
That one's gonna require some thought.
that is really gonna require some thought.
Two sentences to describe our album.
Yeah.
I guess between one of the sentences between JD's sound and my sound, just mood. Like in the case of Boundary of the Skies and Summer Dreaming, just that very like summery feel, and then with say literally every song that I put in that isn't On This Winter Night, just atmospheric, very chill, I guess would be the best way to put it, is eclectic but relaxing.
Okay.
That's a good description. So, I guess my 2 sentences would be, first, a cacophony of emotion and atmosphere, and 2, Ren songs are better.
Okay. My second sentence would be, don't believe JD's lies.
Are you saying it's not a cacophony of emotion and atmosphere?
No, but I am saying Boundary of the Skies is my favorite song on the album, so give yourself a little more credit, man.
I got it, yeah.
So we have a few ideas on that one.
Yeah, no, I'll second him on it being a cacophony of like sounds, ideas, and feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be the biggest praise for you, or the greatest way to seek confirmation for your work, for your effort?
I don't know if people maybe leave a comment on the SoundCloud or Bandcamp going, "Hey guys, this doesn't suck. Good job."
So it is already enough if they say it doesn't suck. Wow.
I mean, all right. Real talk. But bottom line, I guess the best like confirmation, or just sense of accomplishment, is just if we know people are enjoying the songs, then personally that's good enough for me. Music's to be enjoyed.
I can't say anything better than that, because that's essentially how I feel.
All right. Well, if you think about the future of your circle and think about which other names you would like to have at least once in your circle or in your project, are there like collaborations or circles that you really would like to communicate with and work together with?
I have 3 in mind. 2 are far more manageable. One is just my dream. So for people, probably because I'm not sure why, but probably because I was gonna ask her to do a song or 2 for this album, but then plans changed and whatnot. But for one song on one album, I don't particularly care when. I'd like to get Open to Sea to do vocals on a song. I really like Kodakon's arrangements. He has an album coming out soon too, so I'd want to do something with him. And my dream one that's probably realistically never gonna happen is I would just love to work on something with Matsuyo of Minimum Electric Design.
Mm-hmm. Well, nothing is impossible if the future is as big and as promising as it is right now.
Yeah.
We just need to grasp for the stars.
True. Very true.
Just grasp for the stars. It's not impossible. Always, I tell you, like what one of my life mottos is: aim high, fly higher, and always reach for the top. You need to aim first of all for bigger targets, but then you need
if you
to
shoot
work
for the
even
moon,
more.
even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Something
And
like
then-
that,
and then-
certainly.
And if you excuse me, I'm going to be Canadian for
Yeah.
a second here. There's the old quote from Wayne Gretzky: "You miss 100% of the shots you never take." And then there's the other one from Phil Kessel: "You miss 100% of the shots you do." Only hockey fans will get that one.
Which I actually am not.
Unfortunate.
Well, okay, I mean, like, I haven't been to Canada in the first place, and also not to the United States. When I do travel over there to North America, I'll make sure that I'm gonna visit both of you, and then we're gonna take some pictures, work on some projects.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. If you're ever in Victoria, BC, drop me a line. I will show you the sites.
Oh, certainly, man. Appreciate it.
but now this makes me think, Ren, at some point we're just gonna have to meet up in person.
This is true. There's one caveat. I think when we do meet up in person, Bladed Iris is definitely going to be involved.
Oh yeah, he has to be there.
I mean, like, for you guys, it shouldn't be that impossible. It isn't that too far away, isn't it?
A couple thousand miles.
Just the entirety of the continent between us.
Yeah, just the entirety of North America, because like
Okay,
JD lives
agreed
on
on
the
that
East
one.
Coast, I live on the West.
Yeah.
Like, think about me. I'm living in fucking Europe. I'm like the complete satellite. The only one that I could meet that more easily would be Nazohato, and even then we would have the trouble of how to get there. So-
That being said, at some point, I think a meetup of the circle is in order.
Yes.
I
was
recommend
thinking-
Japan.
What was that?
I recommend Japan.
I mean, I might be studying abroad there next year. You guys could come visit me.
Oh, certainly. I mean, like, business-wise and also family-wise, I might be there a few times next year as well, so could be
I
possible.
mean, I could always start saving up. Could
Mhm.
also start learning Japanese, so I don't go there and be like, I say, does anybody here speak English?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Yeah, get my Samuel L. Jackson on, just be like, what ain't no country I ever heard of? Again, our circle, chaotic and sarcastic, but at least entertaining, I hope.
Yes,
Well,
but
I put it as we're a dysfunctional family, but we get the job done.
I mean, just remember, you can't spell dysfunction without fun.
Exactly.
Sounds a little bit like a patchwork family, what you're talking about. Oh dear, oh dear, oh
Speaking
dear.
of which, speaking of which, some family you guys are, you never send me Christmas cards. Kidding.
I start
obviously.
running. JD, it's your fault.
If we weren't live, I would have left the call as a joke.
Perfect.
Oh man.
All right. Joking aside, though, no, it's been great. You guys are wonderful to work with.
I mean, at some point, I would really wish to also have a kids festival Innocent Treasure arranged with you guys, and I would definitely like to write some lyrics for that one.
I'm indeed intrigued.
That gave me an idea.
This is one of my favorites. Like, I recently uploaded a song that I worked on a while back, and it was made with LMMS. And it is like kind of a quite screwed up rookie song, but I thought like, well, I just put it out there so everyone knows what a low level I am with arranging electronically, because singing is definitely better here on my side.
At the same time though, you gotta start somewhere, because like I said, the hard drive got wiped, so I lost a lot of my earlier stuff. But even the stuff I did like 4 years ago, like the earliest stuff I have on record here, I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, wow, A, that sucks, and B, I've really come a long way. So look at it that way. Every arrangement, it's the next step. It's a building block. It's where you are right now, but it's also where you're leaving behind. You know your next effort's probably going to be better than that, and look forward to the improvement.
Well,
Enjoy just the learning process.
the thing is, the song that is running right now in the background, you don't hear it, but maybe later you can listen to it. It reminded me of someone who was working also on Touhou Arranges, who recently uploaded a teaser of it on her social media about it, working with somebody else. And I don't know, like, to realize how far I came with Touhou, that I never dreamed of being part of a circle at some point, but suddenly here I am. I'm being part of a circle. This whole thing turned 360. I experienced so much, got to know so many people, and it is really kind of a sentimental thing for me. Like, thinking about it, that here I am now, about 2 years from now. 2 years ago, I was having my very first stream in German at that time, and now 2 years later, here I am talking with you guys, having an amazing stream time, having time talking with you about all those different things and being part of a circle. How did it all happen all of a sudden? I feel suddenly very old.
I hear you, because like admittedly I had always wanted to do like collaborations and work in a group musically, like, you know, a circle or a band or something, but like I never really thought I'd take any meaningful steps to get there. Well, enter JD, enter Nazuhato, enter you. Here we are, and it's just like, wow, it actually happened.
It is really like that. I mean, like, the thing is, Touhou right now resembles, for me at least in this moment, this particular time of my life, I don't know, ups and downs, love and tears, joy and hatred, so many different things going through my head because of it. And it is all because of the things that happened around, but something that never changed is just the music that I loved so much. And I'm really feeling this whole amazing feeling of not being alone all the way, because I've got people like you, got the circle that is working, and yeah, I'm kind of sentimental right now. Thanks, guys, but
I mean, it is something to be sentimental about. It really is.
It is like now, like a mere hours from now on, this first little baby that we produce is going out into the wide world, isn't it? And then it will be facing the of course, it will opposition. It will have fans. It will have people that will hate us. But the thing that we dare to do it makes us already kind of the winners in this part of life, because at least we dared and tried something that any other people would say is impossible for them. It is something about JD, I guess. I mean, like, as I said, I was so pessimistic when JD said, I want to build up a circle, and here we are now. It really became a true thing happening, and gotta say, JD, great job there.
Yeah. Truly, because
I feel like I'm getting too much credit, but at the same time, your evidence makes sense.
I mean, like...
You know, this might seem like a foreign concept, JD, but just accept the compliment.
Yeah.
I'm being a hypocrite here, but accept the compliment. Because at the end of the day, we can all step back and say, we have something we can show and say, we did this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that I can be proud about later when my kids will be asking me like, "Hey, Dad, what did you do when you were young?" And I was, I would like, guys, there was this kind of a music circle, so I was kind of part of a circle, and they were like, "What is it like?" And it's like, it's kind of something like a band, but it's more awesome because the people around aren't douchebags as normally bands are. And you have people that are listening to your music and to your stuff because they want to listen to something special, and you can deliver the special feeling, and they will be like, what, is there anything left of it somewhere? I would say, like, there is a page called Bandcamp. It's so old, I don't know if you can find it now, but if you listen to that, you just need to check out for Higan Daybreak. You will find a few albums of them, and I was there from the very first one until we suddenly grown up.
What I think what's weird for me to think about is the fact that for like the 11 years I've been playing guitar, I've always wanted to form a band. The very early days, I just wanted to make metal because I was listening to a lot of like Megadeth and Iron Maiden and Metallica. Uh,
Good stuff.
oh yeah, of course. And I wanted to do something like that, but I always felt that my guitar playing wasn't up to skill to like play live because I felt like I'm not as good as playing live because I always make a mistake or two here, and it just bugs me, even though I know everyone does that. And then I just found Minimum Electric Design, and I remember listening to some of Matsuyo's stuff, and I just thought, wait, this isn't too complicated. It sounds like the only thing he really recorded and didn't do electronically was the guitar. Maybe I could record stuff and make music too, and here we are.
Yeah, definitely. And this is also this thing that actually am interested in asking, and this is especially for you, Ren. Like, this question came up a few times in my streams, and it is, what does Touhou mean to you? What is it really for you? Like, what kind of place does it have in your heart?
Well, like I said earlier, admittedly, I didn't get into Touhou until like late 2011 in my grade 12 year at school, when the guy who's now my best friend, or one of my best friends, I shouldn't badmouth Bladed Iris there, but a mutual friend of ours introduced me to Touhou and stuff, and like on the surface, like we played Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. We also played like Double Spoiler and I think Scarlet Weather Rhapsody that day. But like I left his place thinking that was pretty cool, and then we started to get more and more into it. We started to like kind of connect over it. Then I started listening to a lot of the Dojin circles. I'm not gonna lie, especially like Soundholic and East New Sound, and just thinking like the games, the music, it's all done by one man, and yet just to have this insane following and sense of community where there are a bunch of like circles, artists, you name it, just all making this stuff because one man came up with something. He's like, it's just like, I just want people to like it, and people liked it, and here we are. So for me, I guess Touhou really is just this sense of community.
Okay.
I was going to say community too, actually. So I guess that's what it both means. Was because for me, for the 3.5 years I've been into Touhou, no matter where I go, be it online, at conventions, just I've met wonderful people through Touhou that I am glad to have in my life.
I can say the same thing about it. But then also, like, another thing that I would like to ask you guys to answer is, if somebody is coming up, like a complete novice, a newcomer in this whole thing, and he says like, I want to make music, but what is it that you're gonna tell me? Like, what is your advice for me when I want to begin with it? What would you reply to this kind of a newcomer who wants to make music by himself?
Uh,
I I guess I'd start by saying, like, when it comes to actually making music, one of the best things you can do is study. Listen to keep an open mind. Listen to a wide variety of stuff. Find what works for you. What you think you really want to go with, and then from there, from there, it's a case of just breaking it down into steps. How do you want to sound? How are you going to achieve that sound? What do you need to do to get to the point?
Mm-hmm.
Just like it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort, but persevere, because as you will hear on the album, the end results are definitely worth it. And it's frustrating. You'll want to quit. There are days where you feel great. There are days where you feel like you never should have like picked up an instrument to begin with. But it's all part of a journey, because at the end of it, I honestly believe that trying to make music also makes you a better person.
Certainly. I mean, like, this is this kind of feeling special, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Making you whole. It is this whole thing about making music is somehow related to self-reflect sometimes, I would say, because you often make music because of your heart, how it feels like. Also, if people are interested in the background music, what I've got right now is a Touhou vocal trance techno. It's a East New Sound collection, I would say. So give it a listen if you want it. Yeah, we actually are surprisingly already in our last hour.
huh.
Oh wow.
Time passes, doesn't it?
Time flies, eh?
Yeah, but let's talk a little bit about the little bit of background stories and funny things behind Higan Daybreak, like what the people usually don't see, like, I don't know, like jokes or common stories that are told about producing songs or arranging. Anything that are interesting to tell about it?
I mean, I guess one of the running jokes, and it's more indicative just because it's become a meme online. But I've noticed an increase in the use of the phrase "lo-fi hip-hop radio beats to relax and study to" in the Discord server.
Okay.
I think one really obvious running joke is Higan's janitor.
Yeah. What didn't you change it in the public server once to something else?
No, it's always been Higan's janitor for him.
Okay, because I could have sworn you changed it once and then he changed it back.
No, I changed his name, I think.
That's it.
What did I change his name to? I forget.
I cannot remember for the life of me, but I remember having a hearty chuckle at it. So, I guess some of the stuff behind the scenes. Again, there is a quote unquote, and pardon my French on this, shit posting channel, with a couple of MP3s, including one called "Local Mad Lad Makes Audio Shit Post."
What the fuck?
So I guess while we were working on the album, I was working on some stuff on the side, and I share it with JD, Bladed Iris. Nazohata was there, but I don't believe she ever checked it out. But there was stuff like an arrangement of the Battle for Everyone's Souls from Persona 3 that I had done with instrument samples extracted from an Ocarina of Time ROM. So it was the Battle for Everyone's Souls, but arranged to sound like it belonged in OOT. So just jokes and crap like that.
I'm looking through the chat for things to remember, and I remember Hikaru just randomly saying, I think it's because we changed the server to Higan Break Room, and Bladed Iris said he kept thinking it's Higan Daybreak.
Right?
So Hikaru said Higan Beyblade. I was like, let it rip.
Oh man.
And then we ended up changing the name of the server to Higan Daybreak Room because it's a pun.
Hmm.
It's still no one has suggested a picture to use. We have this weird picture of a Kamen Rider character because no one has suggested anything.
I mean, Kamen Rider's great.
Yes.
Higan Daybreak. Come up with something for that. I mean, like Daybreak Room. What can we do? JD hugging his guitar and sleeping in the corner.
I mean, we could put a picture of like this disappointing, dilapidated room with a coffee table and like 4 folding chairs.
Yeah, and then on these 4
Just,
chairs,
like,
there are
at my
4 people
work.
leaning over, like sleeping on the desk.
Coffee machine in the corner.
Yeah.
Constantly on.
Like on the and something like a T-shirt, and on the back it is sleeping mode online or something like that, or lazy mode activated.
Little sign saying employees only.
Now I'm just remembering that, thinking of that, like little plaque from The Simpsons that says, "Don't forget, you're here forever."
Forever. No, you know what? That gets my vote right there.
Yo.
Don't forget, you're here forever.
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 Oh damn. But yeah, guys, if you have got any questions, please ask them now, right now, in the comments and in the chat. Once again, this is Touhou Radio Next Gen featuring Higan Daybreak, a very new circle in the Touhou franchise, releasing their first album in a couple of hours. And if you got any questions, please feel free to ask them right now. Otherwise, we continue to talk about gossip. Like, I remember when I came in and there were like these things about... Actually, let's talk about the cover picture of the very first album, which is right now also the main picture of the stream. Tell us a little bit about the background of it.
I had an idea for what I wanted the album cover to look like. Ran it by Ren. He thought it was cool and started talking to Milky-chan, and that's basically how it happened.
Like, Ren, you got to know Milky-chan from where?
I haven't. JD knows Milky-chan, not me.
And I only know her because of the old server for Touhou Radio Next Gen.
The VIP room. Or
Yeah.
do you mean the old server? For everyone.
Both.
Yeah, the Milky-chan definitely we need to put in at some point. Don't push it. It's not by force. It's just if you have got a random question. Don't worry. By the way, can somebody tell me how many are watching right now?
It says 7 watching now.
Oh, okay. Quite decent for this time. I mean, like, we're in the middle of time zones right now.
I was gonna say, considering it's like, yeah, it's 2 o'clock on my end, so it's 5 for JD and like 11 p.m. for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I remember my time zones.
Hooray!
Time zones
Yay.
are fun.
Gold stars for everyone.
You got a gold star. You got a gold star.
Why does this one say you tried in Comic Sans?
Oh, my favorite with those is the
Was
apparently
an attempt.
no. Unfortunately, this is just lost to time or whatever. But a friend of mine used to have one that just said "you tread."
Correct.
Perfect.
Oh god. Well, there are a few things that can sometimes be quite upsetting. I mean, like, for example, the post JD recent that you made on Twitter. Suddenly it was not Fujiwara but Fujiwara no so. And I didn't actually know what Fujiwaring is.
I make typos all the time, and I never proofread.
It's not like
I really do be like that sometimes.
I'm not like being offended or something like that. I was just confused. I was really just like, what the hell did that mean? Is there a pun intended or something like that? And then I remembered, no, the only pun that I've got is actually this whole "is it so?" Right now running.
So. That could be another fun. So.
そうだね。
そうですね。
Yeah, it is so. Just tell me it is so. Oh man. Yeah, Don. Thanks for that one. The famous Q&A video. Still on, actually still online on YouTube. Well, a certain someone needed to ask, oh, by the way, is it so?
You know, every time you join voice chats now, I'm just gonna say it ain't so.
Nah.
I'll leave the call at that point.
Oh dear.
That's too bad even for my standards.
I mean, at that point, why not just go full tilt and play like 3 seconds of that Weezer song?
I mean, like, John, look what you've done. Look at it. This is your doing. Oh, for Christ's sake, we're crying out loud.
Oh lord.
Well, still alive with you guys. But yeah, like, everyone has his own personal favorite song of this album, and like, what would be your top 3?
Okay, let's see. Top 3 songs on the album, in no particular order.
In particular
Boundary of the
order.
Sky. Huh?
In particular order.
In particular order. Okay. Boundary of the Skies, Summer Dreaming, and Can I Stop There? Okay, real talk. Boundary of the Skies, Ethereal Sunset, and On This Winter Night, in that order, from most to least.
I'd go with Before the Dawn, Ethereal Sunset, and Until We Meet Again.
Okay.
God damn it, JD! You can pick something you can pick something you did.
Okay. Instead of Until We Meet Again, Summer Dreaming.
There we go.
It's still someone dreaming in it. That was your deed, you know. Like, I've got the easiest one. I've got 5 songs to pick. But then again, I've got to say, it's so difficult to pick pick which are really like the 100% best of the best of the best of the best. Oh man, I mean, like, Before Dawn, Boundary of the Skies, of course, and I don't know. I really are tempting between Until We Meet Again and Eternal Sunset. Somewhere in between those two. I feel torn.
Alright, you guys can't see it, but I'm blushing intensely right now.
And also, Don, yeah, I know it. Love you too, man. Love you too. Yeah, it is really like this, isn't it? We have so many songs that we worked on. We are planning on pushing out more songs, and
Well, I guess one thing I can mention, also with regards to Ethereal Sunset, I guess Fate just had in mind that I was going to remix something from Mystic Square, because about a month and a half before that, I put a demo file in what is now Higan Daybreak room of this little, like, 20-second snippet I was doing. It would have been roughly the same style as of Ethereal Sunset, but it was of the Grimoire of Alice, and then I promptly shelved that, and it just didn't really think much of it until, like, after the album was done. I'm like, okay, so that's 2 attempts at Mystic Square.
I'd say
And
also...
I was gonna say I don't particularly know why, because I've never really I've never played Mystic Square. I mean, obviously I haven't really played any of the PC 98 games, but I was just listening to the song and I'm like, I'm like, okay, it just worked. Just roll with it.
Definitely, hands down. But yeah, I mean, for example, if my goal when I started this whole radio stream was to have at least once Travis Stebbins in it. It's still a dream, still not coming true, and I'm still quite sad about it, but if I can manage it at some point, I really, really wish that I can manage it. To have him once in a stream and talk with him in depth about Touhou. It's one of those dreams that I will have forever, I guess. Unfulfilled.
You'll get him on someday.
I really hope so. This is one of the things that are still unfulfilled in my life, and if that would happen, I would be like, so now I can die in peace. No regrets, man. See you at the other side. Knowing already the reply of people like, no, what are you thinking, you stupid idiot? But yeah, it is really a song. It's just one of those, how can I say, talents that I really wish to have at least once the chance to talk to. Nah. But then it is just me daydreaming.
Again, I believe, because at some point, the circle was just an idea. The album, just an idea. And here we are. So, you know what? I think it'll happen. I honestly do.
I definitely need a bit of help until this will be possible. Especially, I would need to be more frequent again with my streams. But then again, I think that part will be a bit impossible right now.
Yeah.
With me.
When you were doing it constantly like last year, I was fairly certain you'd eventually get Travis Stebbins on one of your streams, and I still am to this day.
Well, if you guys want to help me, just text him, tell him that there is a guy feeling very lonely and sad without him. Jokes aside, it's not really like that. I just really wish one day that I could have a proper stream and interview with him for 2 hours free, as always, regular time, you know, and... Ah, damn. Like, I know that he is right now on his way to a convention. Good luck over there, by the way, Travis. But yeah. I mean, like... This is actually, by the way, the very first stream that we are talking straight out 3 hours in a row. Wow. Without any music in between. This is, like, quite a lot of work right now, or rather, like... quite a heap of... content or effort. Not to say that the others were easier, but this is something different, at least right now.
This is a good time to mention on top of that. I'm pretty sure most of the people in this voice chat right now are pretty shy. I can speak for myself. I like almost never did voice chats, because even then I'm like, oh no, people.
Yeah. I can be pretty personable, I guess is the word I'm looking for, but I'm also very, very, very shy.
Yeah, that's the best way I could put it.
Let's say, I mean, like, I've having this radio streams is actually a good way to feel more confident about himself, but about yourself, but definitely it is not like I'm extremely open and this kind of, hey, look at me guys, hey, hello. I'm not that kind of a crazy guy, so something that I need to work on, I guess.
Alternatively, we could just be like, Higan, Daybreak, your friendly neighborhood recluses. Making the dankest beats from our basement since 2018. No, real talk. It's good.
Yeah.
It is really quite an enjoyment to and for me it is really a pleasure talking with you guys. So
And I'm enjoying it too.
I am as well.
Additional generic affirmation.
put in your
I too feel the same way that has been conferred already.
Alternatively, relatable AF.
Big mood.
The biggest of moods.
Oh man, I almost
Alright,
forgot. This is always the thing with JD. As soon as he got the opportunity, here he goes.
I was just gonna say, I guess we should probably get back to something resembling on topic.
Yeah, we probably should.
We owe you at least that much.
And that would be what, for example? There you got it. No, but let's think about yeah, conventions where you want to be like really at live. You know, like I don't know, Winter Comic Cat or Anime Boston or whatever. Is there any kind of event where you want to be the live at with you as a circle?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess the one nearest to me that actually would make sense. I forget which one it is, but it's over in Seattle. Because unfortunately, between Victoria and Vancouver, about the best we get is this yearly convention on like Valentine's Day weekend at the university in town, and it's not bad. It gets a good following, like a couple thousand people every year. But there's not much going on. But I suppose if for whatever reason JD ever found himself on the West Coast, be a good place to start.
I mean, the one in Seattle, I've thought of going there before because I have friends in Seattle, but like it usually happens around the same time as Anime Boston, and it's too big of an expense for a con like that.
Exactly. That's I think that's honestly the biggest obstacle at this point. But then again, when is the biggest obstacle not money?
Yeah.
Well, for another point, it would be time, isn't it? Like traveling to a place, then setting everything up, and then some days later heading back again.
So with performing, I don't think I'd ever perform live. I just don't really feel it. But if ever given the opportunity, I would jump on the chance to sell at Comic-Con.
Okay.
I can second that.
I mean, like, it was like not only like you don't need to be on live stage singing, but I mean, like releasing and publishing your work live at place. You know, like having their own booth and then just selling.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would do that in a local convention, but definitely Comic-Con if given the chance. I don't want to have a booth at Anime Boston because because I don't want to be chained to a booth, but I want to go around, have fun, go to the Touhou photo shoots, talk to other Touhou fans, go to the games room and beat people in Antinomy of Common Flowers.
Challenge accepted.
Yo, now we gotta get you over here so I can play you.
We'll make it work somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these are the ideas of what you or where you want to like to go if you got the opportunity. All right. But yeah, so if you got the opportunity to, how can I say, talk with Zun in person and think about all the things that happened recently. I mean, like, we got the new Touhou game will be a Sumideko game. Personally, that is for me a downturners times 10. But what would be things that you would like to talk with him?
I believe I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask him about beer, specifically.
Yeah, I feel as if a good conversation about beer with him would be nice.
Other than that, just like, I unfortunately, I'd ask probably the bland questions like inspirations. How does he do it? Just how does it feel knowing you've got like literally a worldwide following?
I mean,
And also, can I buy you a beer?
I mean, in that point, I've got an advantage because I'm living in Germany. So, beer. Tell me which kind you want to have. I've got it all, you know, bro.
You can tell him all about the local craft beer.
Hey, you want some special stuff?
There's this.
Give me the stuff. Gotta have the stuff, man.
Like, he's like, yeah, I want to have all those kinds of beers. And I was like, bro, this will be expensive, you know. At least one game with Mima that would cost. I don't know. Are you able to pay or not? And then he's like, that's a no, dealer. That's too expensive.
Oops, did I leave my wallet in my other pants?
Oh dear.
Oh no. Guess I can't pay for the beer now.
And then suddenly I scream like, listen to it! Zun just said he would never make another Mima game! And then suddenly all the Mima fans are crowding around him. And like, I can order them to beat the fuck out of you, or you make one and then you get your beer. Deal or no deal? Menacing smile.
I just remember this. You know that picture that's like, okay, Touhou's guess the mystery Ulil. Hint they have a cape. Is it Mima? It's not fucking Mima.
Yeah.
You know that picture?
Yeah.
I know that one, yeah.
You know, apparently that's not what the picture originally said and was edited, but it was edited by the guy who usually runs the Touhou panel at Anime Boston. It's weird to think that I've met that guy.
Perfect.
Oh dear, dear, dear. But yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit more about the circle. Like, what does the future hold for it? Like, guest appearances, or new singers, or new people, or what are the ideas for it?
I mean, I'm always down for new people. The more the merrier. I say. Although, if it gets too big, then yeah, no, thank you.
There is a certain limit to this whole thing, you know.
Yeah, but as I mentioned earlier, I'd love to have Open to See on as a vocalist for at least one song at some point in the future. I'd love to work with Kogan, as I said earlier, because I love his arrangements. But I know I also asked Armpit Maiden if he'd be interested in doing a song for our next album. So there's that.
Mm.
And that, remember, there was also that very brief discussion we had about actually collaborating on a song where you could like play the guitar track and I do some stuff over top of it.
Yeah, that was the Flower Remains in Fantasy arrangement that I was on about earlier, and I'm really looking forward to us working on that.
As am I. It'll be nice to actually like work together on the same song.
Yeah.
But then, if those challenges, or rather like projects, are coming up, I call them challenges now for a second. What would you say? Like, what is the most difficult part in these collaborations that you see already for you right now?
Um, I at this point, like just specifically talking about JD and I collaborating on something, probably timing, because we can at least keep in contact with each other on Discord just to make sure we're still on, like, that we're on the same page with how we want the arrangement to go.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't see there being too many disagreements, considering he shared with me more or less the sound he's going for, and I believe I said something akin to, "You already had me 5 seconds in."
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, at that point I think it's literally just gonna be timing. Like, if he sends me a demo, I start working on it, send it back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, if it's a case of, are we happy with it, where do we go from there?
Okay.
Because we, like, just having different schedules, and of course, I mean, one to talk, considering it's like a 9-hour time difference between you and I, for example, but like between JD and I, it's 3 hours, so like it's like 2:30 almost here, so it's like 5:30.
Yeah.
Over there. Like, generally, I think the time we actually talk the most is like probably 7 or 8 a.m. my time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hmm.
And I think the only like difficulty that I could think of does kind of go with that, but like the circumstances for how we record and make stuff is different, and that kind of makes it a little more complicated than it needs to be.
I see.
It is unfortunate, but and if I could think of a better setup off the top of my head, believe me, I'd be the first to suggest it.
Well, that's just something that can't be helped.
Yeah.
Actually, this brings me also to the question of thinking about this first album. What kind of experience did you have? Which kind of understanding of the of your partners did you got, and what kind of, how can I say, important lectures you learned by it, lessons you learned by it?
First and foremost, working with people is awesome. At the same time, I really wish I could meet y'all in person.
Same.
But other than that, lessons learned. When in doubt, flutes and guitars solve everything. And strings. Can't forget about the strings.
And you, JD?
I think the lesson I learned is that's a tough one. Because everything good Red already just said. Oh no. Well, working in a team, of course. That Fred already said, but that's nice. I just had something and I lost it. Oh no.
I guess one life lesson we could go with is when day is dark, always remember happy day.
Yes, but to go off of working in a team, which I mentioned, is that I really learned that you make better things when you're working with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's honest critique. It's not just people going like, oh, this sounds great, this is perfect, keep going the way you're going. Because like on Before the Dawn, for example, both you and Bladed Iris agreed that at one point the shamisen in the background was a little bit discordant, so I should probably do something about that, and so I did.
And then even throwing in suggestions, like with that song, I had suggested putting in a bird call.
Yeah, and then we had that thing about, you know, do we record, like, do we find a sample at that point? Do we have to credit for the sample? Do I just record something myself, since we get like we do get like house sparrows and all that out near where I live? And then we find out that the first bird call preset in most MIDI sound banks is a sparrow anyway. pardon me. So it just worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so just there's been suggestions, there's been actual constructive criticism. Nobody's really been kissing ass or at the same time going, no, this sucks, I hate you. So honestly, the feedback's been good.
All right. And thinking about all these, all these projects that you heard other people working on, were there any project where you felt like, damn, sometimes I wish I could have been part of it? Song project wise, I mean, inside of the circle.
Yeah, honestly, part of me wishes, like, hearing and this is like the song we keep going back to. So yeah, Proof, it's actually the best song on the album, JD. But Boundary of the Skies, listening to it, I like, from the moment I heard the original demo of it, I just found myself tapping my foot to it. And I'm like, yeah, I wish I could contribute something to that. But like, JD did pretty much everything I would have done.
And you, JD?
You know, I would say, Before the Dawn, but technically I did contribute with that suggestion of a bird call.
I mean, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, guess we have to change the album credits now. Put you in on that one.
No, it's still just you.
I mean, I'm half joking. Only half.
I mean, it was just a suggestion.
Okay, and anything else?
I guess the thing is, so I like the way on this winter night is, but like through listening to it, like even from the beginning, I'm thinking this would be really cool with like a funk guitar in the background, and I wish I like had the time to record something like that for it.
Well, if you ever find yourself with the means to do so, feel free to. I would love to hear it.
All right.
I guess at the same time, one other one I wish I could contributed to was Summer Dreaming, because with you providing the lyrics, JD doing the arrangement, and Nazohato providing the vocals, everyone actively involved in the music in the circle, other than me, was involved on that one. But like, at the same time, I was working on like 2 other songs simultaneously, so I don't think I would have been able to really contribute anything of worth.
But yeah, it sounds like we have some projects that we definitely need to work on together. I'm looking forward to work on a few projects with you as well, Ren.
Yeah, that Native Faith one should be good.
Yeah, certainly I'll be in for it. Like, this is something that I would really like to work on.
Admittedly though, after listening to the little demo I sent, I realized that the style I went for was more or less the same as the intro to Cruel Angel's Thesis from Evangelion.
But no, it was actually, the thing is, it leaves so much place from, or rather like interpretation from there, because I already have the idea of how this whole thing would turn out if that intro is coming in. And I've got this whole idea of actually taking a few different takes of me singing different lines for the bass, and for the bass, for the tenor, and so on. So
alright,
I've got a few ideas already popping up, so got a few nice ideas for that one.
Excellent. Well, I mean, if you ever want to record them, send them my way. We can plan this out.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, like, I first of all need to listen a few more times to Native Faith to get a good feeling for it, what I would have in mind, and then I will send it.
I might actually have an updated demo in the next couple of days, because admittedly, I went to a buddy's place for movie night last night, came back, a little bit inebriated and decided that the first thing I should do is work on music. So I've got like another let's see here, like 20 some odd seconds compared to that previous demo.
Mm-hmm.
Now the next question is, since I haven't listened to it sober, is it still good?
That's the $1 million question.
$1 million,
I mean,
baby.
I mean, hey, if we find out I arrange better when I'm slightly sloshed, okay, down to the liquor store I go.
Down the hatch it goes.
It's not beer, it's liquid inspiration. Just have a brand of beer just called the Muse.
Now that's an idea.
There we go. Market it, make your millions.
A good thing, because I remember last year with some old friends, I was like, hey guys, let's start a brewery.
Also, if you call it Muse, sell in Japan, make a marketing agreement, put Love Live characters on the cans. There you go.
Yes.
Maybe I should switch majors to business.
Maybe. Or at least marketing.
I mean, yeah.
Well.
But yeah, no. Anyways,
Back on topic.
back on topic. Native Faith, a cappella. It's gonna be great.
It will be something great to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to that. So.
As am I.
It's exciting to think about.
Yeah. I think the nice thing is, as of next Wednesday, I'm actually on vacation for a week, which means more time to work on music.
Nice.
Yeah. See if I can really get hammer some stuff out for the next project.
Oh man.
You were about to say something, so?
Nothing actually. It was like more like.
It sounded like you were about to.
Well, just that we are heading right now into our final phase.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I guess it is like 20 to midnight over there. So.
Yeah, like in the lot, we've got about 15 minutes to go right now.
Okay.
And then, of course, the question is, which song do you want to play for the finish, Mater? Like from the whole album.
JD, the ball's in your court.
I mean, I feel as if we had started with Boundary of the Skies, it makes sense to end with Ethereal Sunset.
Yeah, I've got the same idea.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing. The other one would have been Until We Meet Again, as a kind of a feeling of wait until we've got the next stream in which we will publish our next one. But then
That's
again,
fair, right?
Ethereal Sunset somehow has this good feeling of, yeah, something magic in it, so I would like to go with it as well.
All right, I say let's go with that then. But looking at it, because I'm looking at the crossfade on SoundCloud right now.
Mhm.
I didn't intend the track listing to be like one song by JD, two songs by me. It just kind of worked out that way.
It just happened that way.
But I feel like as a result, with the parallelism, you could almost look at the first three as side A and the last three as side B, just because Before the Dawn and Ethereal Sunset just have such a different feeling from like On This Winter Night and stuff. And Until We Meet Again, because those ones were a little more electronic oriented,
Certainly.
where Before the Dawn, Ethereal Sunset were more about mood and atmosphere than maybe composition and beats. Okay, not composition. It was more about the feeling than the actual I guess, than the actual song itself.
Well, Don, stream next month. Holy shit. I don't know. Maybe, but then with another topic. There was this whole thing that we wanted to have one talk stream about some other stuff as well, if I remember correctly, JD.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
Well, maybe that one, but I don't know. We will see. For certain, like, I won't return into regular, or rather like a routine upload or streaming system, because it definitely doesn't work right now. If it would be so great, but no chance right now.
I mean, maybe if you do it like once a month, it could be manageable, but who knows? I don't know what your schedule's like.
My schedule is a pure mess, to say it gently.
Alright.
So,
I get you.
I don't know. If there is an option and an opportunity, I will take it easily and instantly, but we will see, Don, we will see. Definitely would like to have one very soon again, but first of all, I need to care about work and other things. One more question. One Touhou song you would like to arrange that you haven't already made plans for?
I know the one Bladed Iris would want me to do, but I know what I want to do.
Which is?
The one Bladed Iris would want me to do is Lunatic Eye's Invisible Full Moon, because he's been bugging me to learn how to play it for almost a year now. But the one I really want to do, Night Soccer of Dead Spirits, because that's one of my favorite songs in all of Touhou.
Okay.
Let's see. One I don't have plans to, but would like to. Oh boy. I mean, I've arranged it a couple of different ways before, but even on this album, I was thinking of doing an arrangement of the Shining Needle Castle sinking in the air. Because if JD remembers, that was actually like the one Touhou song I demoed for you when we first met.
I remember that.
And it was one of those things. I had ideas, but like none of them I could really flesh out within the time constraints we had. So I guess I'd go with that, or plan B would be UNO and was. But I realize that's like the basic answer, but I had some ideas for it.
Okay.
Another cool one to work on now that I'm thinking about it would be Hey on Alien.
Ah.
Yes.
I think like ages ago I had the idea of like a prog rock rendition of it.
I can get behind that.
Sounds good. Well, for me personally,
I guess. Sorry. One last one, just because it's one of my best friend's favorites, and it would shock the hell out of him. The Tank Girl stream.
Okay.
Just because he's looked for an arrange of it for like forever, but apparently he's either found none or very, very few. So I guess if I did that one, it would literally just be for him.
With a little tribute mark on it.
Maybe.
Personally, well, please go on. Please
sorry,
go on.
last thing I'll say is either that or a footnote that he owes me a beer.
There's one that I'm thinking of doing for the next album that I just want to put a little nod to my buddy Lax into it, because it's the theme for his favorite character.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what song.
Yeah.
I want to keep that bit secret for now.
Anticipation intensifies.
Well, at some point we will know it.
Yeah.
For example, what there are a few songs that I personally want to work on, and one of them is, of course, Kids Festival Innocent Treasure, but then there are songs as well as, for example, Shanghai Tea House, as we hear it right now in the background. Chinese tea? I don't know. It's one of those songs that I would like to have, and God, there are a few songs that I would like to work on so much, and maybe, of course, what was it? Eternal Smoke? No, Reach for the Moon. Reach for the Moon. That would be also one. But then I would like to know, maybe that would be a collab of YouTube that I would like to join in.
That's an idea.
Yeah, definitely.
And that would be a song that I would really like to write some lyrics to. I think the topic would be something like memories of things that happened and letting them vanish, or rather like passing by, saying I'm moving on but I won't ever forget them. This kind of feeling maybe to it.
Definitely relatable.
And this would be something that I would like to work on. Oh, by the way, JD, for the whole thing about Fall of Fall, that would be also something that I would like to work on.
Yeah. I was gonna send you when I've been send you that when I'm done with that. I've started working on it. Or at least coming up with ideas.
So Taylor Aiden is asking, how did the voice directing go with Nazuhato? Did you have different takes, versions with different singing styles before choosing one?
She just ended up recording it, sending it to me, and I liked it. I thought it worked, so that's what happened.
So pretty much, as far as we know, one take.
Yeah, she
Just
might have done multiple herself and just never sent those ones to me, but I thought the first one was good enough to work.
I think it was only a few twists and turns now and there, right? On it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that it was, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think we start to do the wrap up because it's 10 minutes until we finish and we need to calculate in also a few minutes for the song. First of all, I'm so grateful that you two just showed up today and that we had the opportunity to publish, or rather like announce, the first album today. Hope it was and to your liking as well today.
Oh yeah, like I said earlier, thanks for having us. It's been great. Sorry for getting off topic so many times.
Oh, it was alright, man. It's I mean, like, this is a stream after all. It's not like a proper radio. This is planned into it, kinda. So it is all alright.
Bottom line, it was fun.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you had us on, and I'm definitely was happy to be here, and I thought this was a great time.
I really am looking forward for the release and how the people are reacting. So guys, if you haven't or if you are planning to check it out, I will leave the link for the Bandcamp here in the chat. So JD, please send me the link right now so I can post it in the chat.
Are you going to link the Discord server as well?
I would like to as well, yeah, for the Higan Daybreak.
There's the Bandcamp, and I'll get you the Discord server.
Alright. So, for you guys, this is quite exclusive, only for my stream. Here's an early release link for the album. And here is the link for the Discord to Higan Daybreak. So I hope you guys will have the opportunity to check it out. And if you check it out, take your time, listen to it carefully, because every single bit of it is so enjoyable, and I promise you won't be disappointed. But yeah, guys, anything that you want to say or want to greet somebody right now? Because as a finishing up, if you got anything, it's now.
I guess thanks to everyone listening to the stream. Thanks to you for having us. Thanks to Bladed Iris for introducing me to JD, and thanks to JD for organizing the circle.
Basically everything Ren said, except I'm not thanking myself, I'm thanking him for being a part of my circle.
Okay.
You know, this is just gonna devolve into him and I saying thank you back and forth, so, yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's thank you so much for having me as one of your, or as a part of the team, and I'm really looking forward for the new projects and songs that we are working on, and really excited for the next album as well. But first of all, I'm so excited to see how our first album will hit. I'm quite optimistic that it will work out very great, and I'm really looking forward to the feedback from the other people. And really hope that they will enjoy it as much as we do, and that they can share this enjoyment and excitement for making something with Touhou. But yeah, all in all, I mean, like, if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, go to that Discord server, check them out, talk with them. They're nice guys, they're pretty open fellas, as you heard it today, so give it a try, and otherwise, please, yeah, share the link from Bandcamp as good as you can. I really hope that you can share it with as many people as possible, so we can, yeah, reach out more, having more opportunities.
I guess the one thing we should mention is up on Bandcamp, it's pay what you want. So by that we mean free.
Yeah, I don't. We don't want your money, but if you do, that's gonna go right to the future albums.
Especially to the cover pictures, huh?
Yeah. The guy.
But yeah, no. But bottom line, it's pay what you want. So our intent is that it's free. Just enjoy the music.
Yeah. The only reason it's set to pay what you want is because, like, I remember reading you can't, like, add it to something or another if it's free on Bandcamp. So I was like, well, I don't want to strip that choice from people. So I guess it's pay what you want.
It is just, yeah, I mean, like, this whole project that is all passion and tears and joy and everything in it. This is really, like, from human who wanted to do something, like people who gathered to do something amazing for you guys. Just give it a listen. This is all we are asking for. Listen to it. If you enjoy it, download it. If you're really hoping for more, then maybe think about a donation, but please always consider that this is nothing of it what we say is a must. It's all voluntarily, and if you don't, we completely understand it. The most important thing is that you listen to it and you enjoy it and tell us how to improve, okay? This is the most important for us, I guess. Am I right?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, right now I just destroyed your hopes and dreams of finances. But yeah.
Again, even if they do give us money, it's all just going to be for the album art.
It definitely is. I mean, there is no way around it. So, let's finish it up in the proper way, as I always do. First in German dann today. So, danke Leute fürs Zuhören heute. Ich wünsche euch eine wunderschöne Nacht, ein schönes Wochenende. Es ist bullenheiß. Bitte, bitte passt auf eure Gesundheit auf und ich hoffe, euch bald wiederzusehen. Bis dann, auf Wiedersehen. Now, let's say it in Japanese. 今週もまた見てくれますさてありがとうございます。今、いろいろと、大雨であり、台風であり、熱中症になることもあるので、ですから本当にお気をつけください。また今度、聞いてくれるのを楽しみにして待っています。それまでよろしくお願いします。Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today, and I really, really hope that you enjoyed this little, how can I say, musical journey with us as much as we did. And please come back as soon as possible again. I will announce again when we have another stream, and I hope that you will be there. All the people will be there, and if you enjoy what we are doing, check out the Discord, check out the Bandcamp, check out my YouTube, and maybe even my Facebook. There are a few things to discover, and I will keep you up to date if there is something very exciting coming up at ours, or maybe I'll be quite silent about it and surprise you with some other stuff. Well, that's it. It is time for us to move on to the last song. I say have a good night from Germany. We have right now over 20 degrees still. It is fucking hot. But I hope you will do alright as well anyway. And yeah, that said, I wish you a pleasant day, night, wherever you are. Please take care of yourself. And yeah, I hope to see you again. And with that said, this is Fujiwara no So for Touhou Radio Next Gen. Today we were having Higan Daybreak with us, a very new circle. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you will listen to their songs and projects from now on. We will finish off with the last song of their album called Ethereal Sunset. Enjoy the song, see you around, and have a good one. Bye.